guys, Robert here, and welcome back to Season 1 of the Random Albums Marble Race. Last time, these 34 marbles did not make it to the finish, so they were all up for elimination. We have received a total of 28 votes, which is a phenomenal start to this series. What a number, guys, at least by my standards anyway. So, yeah, let's get started. Since 5 of you will be eliminated, I am splitting all of you into groups of 5, with the first 4 groups containing 7 albums and the last group containing just 6. So yeah, let's get started with forming the first group. For group 1, I'm going to need the following 7 albums: David Guetta's Listen, 5 Facilities Forever, Milky's Star, Prince's Purple Rain, Taylor Swift's Folklore, Tiesto's Kaleidoscope, and Ween's The Mollusk. Alright folks, this is your first group. Only 6 of you will be moving forward, while 1 of you is eliminated. Out of the 7 of you, only 3 received at least 1 vote. The first album to make it into the final 45, based on your votes, is Ween's The Mollusk with 3 votes. Now, the next 2 albums I'm going to be calling on received just 1 vote. So in no particular order, the second album to make it into the final 45 is Folklore. The third album to make it into the final 45 is Listen. And that leaves just the 4 of you remaining who have received no votes at all. So as a result of this, we need a tiebreaker challenge. And the tiebreaker challenge is going to be something that I haven't brought back in a long time: the Spin the Wheel Challenge. Yep, that's right guys. For the first time since 2021, the spinner is back. The first 3 albums to be picked by the spinner will be safe from elimination and will make it into the final 45, whereas the 1 album that does not get picked will be eliminated from the competition. Good luck to all of you. Now, for the first verdict. According to the spinner, the 4th album to make it into the final 45 is Forever. Alright, now only 3 of you remain. Let's see who else has saved 2. Only 2 more can go through. The 5th album to make it into the final 45, according to the spinner, is Purple Rain. And then there were 2. Milky's Star and Tiesto's Kaleidoscope. Only 1 of you is safe, and the other goes home. In fact, the 1 album that gets eliminated is the first off the show. The first eliminated. So now, let's reveal the results. According to the spinner, the last album from this group to make it into the final 45 is Star. And that means Kaleidoscope is eliminated. I'm sorry to all the fans of this album here, but Tiesto's Kaleidoscope is the first to be eliminated. And honestly, in my opinion, it's deserved, because Kaleidoscope is one of the worst albums ever made. But if you're a fan of this album here, I'm not going to get mad at you for it, but also my condolences. So yeah, let's put you in the results box. Alright guys, with Kaleidoscope the first to be eliminated, we are left with our final 49. However, we lose a second album today, and it could be one of these guys. Let's see which one of these albums will be the second off the show. Now, time to form the second group. For group 2, I'm going to need the following 7 albums: BT's These Hopeful Machines, Deadmau5's Random Album Title, Jamie XX's In Color, Lana Del Rey's Did You Know That There's a Tunnel Under Ocean Boulevard, Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon, Rufus Du Soul's Bloom, and the Chemical Brothers' Dig Your Own Hole. Alright guys, this is the second group. For 6 of them, the competition continues. For one of them, the competition ends. Out of the 7 of you, only 3 of you received at least 1 vote. The first album to make it into the final 45 based on your votes is Random Album Title with 3 votes. The next 2 albums I'm going to be calling on received just 1 vote. In no particular order, the second album to make it into the final 45 is Dark Side of the Moon. The third album to make it into the final 45 based on your votes is Dig Your Own Hole. And with that, only 4 of you remain. And since none of you received any votes at all, it's time we bring back the spinner again. Much like the last group, the 3 albums that get picked by the spinner first will be safe from elimination, whereas the album that does not get picked will unfortunately leave us. And yeah, I'm just going to say this, all of these albums are phenomenal, so this is going to be rough. The very, very, very best of luck to all 4 of you. Now for the first verdict. According to the spinner, the 4th album from this group to make it into the final 45 is In Color. Alright, just only 2 more spots left in the final 45 for this group. Now, the 5th album to make it into the final 45 is Bloom. And now that leaves just the 2 of you. These hopeful machines. And did you know that there's a tunnel under Ocean Boulevard? Only one of you is safe, and the other is not. The 6th and final album to make it into the final 45 is These Hopeful Machines. And that unfortunately means that Did You Know That There's a Tunnel Under Ocean Boulevard leaves us today on the Random Albums Marble Race. It really is such a shame. It is one of my favorite albums of the year, but it is the competition, and yeah, that means we have to say goodbye to the album with the longest title in this competition, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. So yeah, let's put you in the results box. Alright guys, with Did You Know That There's a Tunnel Under Ocean Boulevard sadly eliminated, we are left with our final 48. But we'll be down to our final 47 pretty damn soon, because we'll be saying goodbye to the 3rd album eliminated from the competition today. Now it is time we form the 3rd group. For the 3rd group, I'm going to need the following 7 albums: Outakers Amber, Infected Mushrooms Army of Mushrooms, NF's Hope, Stevie Wonder's Songs in the Key of Life, Tim Hecker's Virgins, Weezer's Blue Album, and Yes's Close to the Edge. And just like that, we have your 3rd group. Only 6 can go through, and 1 goes home. Who will that be? Let's find out right now. Just like the previous 2 groups, only 3 of you received at least 1 vote. Based on your votes, the first album to make it into the final 45 is The Blue Album with 4 votes. The second album to make it into the final 45 is Amber with 2 votes. And the third album to make it into the final 45 after the vote is Hope with 1 vote. And that leaves just the 4 of you remaining. And since none of you received any votes, let's bring back the spinner once again. Like last time, the 3 albums that get picked by the spinner will move on to the next stage of the competition, while the album that does not get picked heads on home. Good luck to all of you. According to the spinner, the 4th album to make it into the final 45 is Virgins. Now the 3 of you remain, only 2 more can go through. The 5th album to make it into the final 45 is Songs in the Key of Life. And now the 2 of you remain, Army of Mushrooms and Close to the Edge. Only one of you will move forward, while the other will be the 3rd off the show. Let's find out who was eliminated right now. The 6th and final album from this group to make it into the final 45 is Army of Mushrooms. And that unfortunately means we have to say goodbye to one of Yes's best albums, Close to the Edge. It's really disappointing. 2 damn near masterpiece albums in a row off the show. Like Close to the Edge is such a legendary album. Like, man, Siberian Control. Yeah, Siberian Control, especially that song. Damn, like, yeah, that's such a great song. And every song off of that album is great at the very least. So, yeah, to see Close to the Edge eliminated is pretty rough. But, again, it is the competition. And since Close to the Edge did not get picked, it goes bye-bye today. So, yeah, let's put you in the results box. Alright guys, with Close to the Edge eliminated, we are left with our final 47. While it is unfortunately the end of the road for one of the most legendary progressive records of all time, it is going to be the end of the road for one of these albums standing here right now. Which one will it be? Let's find out as we form the 4th group. And I'm telling you right now that since there are only 13 of you left standing, it is only going to get even more difficult from here to get into the final 45. So all I can say to you guys is good luck. Now, for group 4, I'm going to need the following 7 albums: Chime's Etherborn, Foo Fighters' Wasting Light, Kenishi's Jelly Tones, Kid Rock's Bad Reputation, Mac Miller's Circles, Orbital's Insides, and Radiohead's Kid A. Alright, this is your 4th group, ladies and gentlemen. Only 6 can go through to the final 45, whereas one of you will be eliminated. Just like the previous 3 groups, only 3 of you received at least 1 vote. The first album to make it into the final 45 based on your votes is Inside with 3 votes. The second album to make it into the final 45 is Wasting Light with 2 votes. And the third album to make it into the final 45 is Bad Reputation with 1 vote. And just like that, the 4 of you already remain. And since none of you received any votes, time to bring back the spinner for a 4th time. You guys watching know the drill by now. The 3 albums that get picked by the spinner will be safe from elimination, whereas the album that does not get picked will be eliminated. And it's going to be unfortunate since I love all these albums. So good luck to all of you. Let's see who is safe. According to the spinner, the 4th album from this group to make it into the final 45 is Jelly Tones. There are now 2 more spots left in the final 45 for this group. The 5th album to make it into the final 45 is Kid A. And now we are left with just the 2 of you, Etherborn and Circles. Only one of you will stay, and the other will leave. Which one will it be? Let's find out right now. The 6th and final album from this group to make it into the final 45 according to the spinner is Circles. And that means Etherborn leaves us today on Ramar. Man, this is tough luck, guys. This This right here is my favorite album of 2023 so far. It's like literally a 9 out of 10 album to me. And to see it go so soon, it's just saddening. But yeah, let's put you in the results box. Alright guys, with Etherborn eliminated, we are left with our final 46. Yep, while my favorite album of 2023 so far leaves the competition, one more album will unfortunately have to do the same thing today in this episode. Let's find out who that one unlucky album will be as we form the fifth and final group. And group 5 consists of the following 6 albums left standing in this elimination: Biosphere Substrata, Daft Punk's Discovery, Ed Sheeran's Multiply, Kendrick Lamar's To Pimp a Butterfly, Miles Davis's Be-Brew, and Square Pusher's Hard Normal Daddy. And that, my friends, is Group 5. Since there are only 6 of you left remaining in this elimination, for only 5 of you, the show must go on. For 1 of you, it's curtains. And now, we must reveal the results. Out of the 6 of you, much like the previous 4 groups, only 3 of you received at least 1 vote. After the vote, the first album to make it into the final 45 from this group is Discovery with 3 votes. The next 2 albums I'm going to be calling on received only just 1 vote, so in no particular order, the second album to make it into the final 45 is Hard Normal Daddy. The third album to make it into the final 45 is Multiply. And then there were 3: Substrata, To Pimp a Butterfly, and Be-Brew. Only 2 of you can go through to the final 45, while 1 of you unfortunately has to leave the competition. All of these albums are absolutely stellar, so this is a toughie. But how are we going to decide which 2 make it through? Easy. The Spin the Wheel Challenge. Once again, the 2 albums that get picked by the spinner will advance to the final 45, whereas the 1 album that does not get picked will leave the competition. Good luck to all of you. Now, according to the spinner, the 4th album from this group to make it into the final 45 is To Pimp a Butterfly. And now we are left with just the 2 of you: Substrata and Be-Brew. One of the most well-acclaimed ambient albums versus one of the most well-acclaimed jazz albums. Both are absolutely phenomenal, but only one can take that very last coveted spot in the final 45, whereas the other is eliminated. And it's all in the spinner's hands. Good luck to both of you. Now, the 5th and final album from this group to make it into the final 45 is Bitches Bro! And that sadly means Substrata leaves us today on the Random Albums Marble Race. Yeah, this is another disappointing elimination right there. Substrata is seriously one of my favorite albums of all time right here. Possibly top 15 in my book. And it's really my favorite Biosphere album as well. So this is really heartbreaking to see Substrata leave the competition so soon. But hey, this is what happens when you guys don't vote. Like, you gotta vote for for which album do you think is your favorite. And this is why, like, I just really wish Substrata, got more support in this competition. But hopefully it has a chance at rejoining sometime in this competition. Because like I said in the community tab, there will be 2 rejoin ceremonies. And I'll talk to you guys more about that when we move on to the next phase of this episode. But yeah, for now, let's put you in the results box. Alright guys, with Substrata eliminated, we are left with our final 45. Yep, and just like that, we are through with the first elimination of the season. Congrats to those who have survived, and congratulations to the second and fourth rows in particular, as they are the only two rows where none of the albums are eliminated yet. Whereas the other three rows have at least one album eliminated. And yeah, speaking of the elimination, like I said before, I'm not really surprised by Kaleidoscope's elimination. I definitely have seen it coming. It is a terrible, terrible, terrible album, and yet that's coming from the person who included that album in the series anyway. The other four eliminations, like, they were kind of disappointing to me. Especially Substrata's elimination. Like, that album's an all-time favorite album contender right there. Like, Substrata's so beautiful, I have no words. But here's the thing, though. Each of the 5 albums that were eliminated today actually do have a chance at rejoining the competition. There will be 2 rejoin ceremonies this season. The first one will be when we are down to the final 25, while the second one will be when we are down to the final 12. So basically, they're kind of like, you know, wild card ceremonies, if you would like to call it that. But for the sake of consistency, I'm used to calling them rejoin ceremonies, so that's what I'll be calling them. I'll talk more about the first rejoin once we actually get there. But for now, let's focus on our final 45, ladies and gentlemen. This is episode 2, season 1 of the RAM-R, the Random Albums Marble Race. Like usual, the albums that make it to the finish will be safe from elimination, whereas the rest will be at risk of elimination. Good luck to all of you. Let's get started in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go! Good luck! And the first album to make it is Be-Brew! And I see other albums making it in, including Hope and Forever and Army of Mushrooms and Circles. And it looks like 3 albums are left. Amber, Toxicity, and Kid A. Alright, Kid A makes it. And, oh my god, Toxicity almost made it. Amber is the second to last to make it, and that leaves just Toxicity in this stage. So now, yeah, Toxicity is the last to make it to the next stage. And now for the Oval Gear stage. Let's get on with this. All right, it looks like Black Star was the first album to make it to the next stage, and that's followed by many other albums. I think the Mollusk was stuck for a bit, but it got pushed off eventually. Yeah, that's Dark Side of the Moon. Sorry about that. Some of these albums are kind of like black. I can't really tell. Doll makes it, SAW2 makes it, The Record makes it, and yeah, we're just left with My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy for this stage, who gained immunity last time. Yeah, wow, why is My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy taking forever to make it through? AKA the album where Anthony Fantano gave, you know, a 6-2. And yeah, it's like one of the biggest like memes from the Fantano channel, I guess. But yeah, now we're moving on to the invisible stage. Gears are invisible, so that's why. Anyways, go. All right. Looks like Forever was the first to make it, I think, and then Multiply made it also. Many other albums have made it to the next stage also. In Color has made it. Jelly Tones, random album title. Jagged Little Pill. All right. It looks like already 2 more albums remain. Listen and Discovery. All right, and the second to last album to make it is Discovery, and that leaves one of the worst albums in this roster, Listen, and Listen makes it. And now we're moving on to the Dream vs. Technoblade fight. Here we go. All right, a lot of you have made it, including Insides. Also, Star has made it. All right, I think These Hopeful Machines has made it, Be-Brew, and Coruscate, and Nurture was the last album to make it. And now moving on to this complex gear stage. Let's go. All right, the first album to make it is immediately In Color. Coolio. Like, it faster than Sonic on that one. All right, Nurture has made it. Also, Autobahn, Flower Boy, Dark Side of the Moon, I think. And then Circles, Insides, and then all that's left is Kid A. Kid A was almost eliminated, but thankfully it got saved by the spinner. So yeah, and now we're moving on to the pie stage. Let's go. All right, it looks like a couple of you have made it, including Toxicity, and also Amber, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, Songs in the Key of Life. And the only album that's left is Kid A again, and Kid A has made it. And now we're moving on to the anime stage. This is where some of you are going to find trouble again, I think. So let's get on with this. All right, Jagged Little Pill makes it first. And a lot of you have made it. Attempts are dwindling down. My Chemical Romance has made it with the Black Parade. Random album title. Blue Album has made it. Who had the most votes in this elimination, so they were immediately safe. I think Flower Boy has made it. Forever, and now all that's left is Songs in the Key of Life. There are now less than 20 attempts left, and Songs in the Key of Life has made it to the next stage. Literally all of you have made it past the anime stage. I'm really surprised by that. Now, we are going to be moving on to this skier stage, whatever this is. Let's go. And yeah, special shout out to Wisteria for creating this Parkour Palace. Credit goes to them. They did a great job with this. I forgot to credit them in this video, but they will be credited in the description. Anyways, Chorus Gate has made it. Bad Rep has made it. And okay, looks like we have our first couple of albums up for elimination. And those albums are Army of Mushrooms, Star, Toxicity, the Blue Album, random album title, Doll, 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 Dig Your Own Hole, Insides, and Nurture. Sorry to all of you, but you are all up for the second elimination. Now, we are going to be moving on to the red zone for the rest of y'all. Let's go! All right, congratulations to SAW2 and Listen, who are the first two albums to make it. Folklore has made it. Flower Boy has made it. Multiply, B-Brew. Jelly Tones has made it as well. And it looks like a lot of these are going crazy. Attempts are dwindling. I feel like some of y'all are going to be up for elimination as well. And yeah, these are the albums that are up for elimination since they didn't make it. And those albums are Bad Reputation, The Black Parade, In Color, These Hopeful Machines, Hope, Virgins, Audubon, Kid A, and Jagged Little Pill. Sorry to all of you, but you are all up for elimination as well. And now for the rest of you, we are going to be bringing it back down to normal speed because we have reached the end of the Parkour Palace. This is the last stage. Again, whoever makes it to the finish will be safe from elimination. They will be granted immunity. And yeah, the rest who don't make it will be up for elimination. So the very, very best of luck to all of you. Let's get on with this. All right, let's see who makes it. And it's not Multiply. And it's not SAW2, surprisingly. No! But I see only a handful of yous are safe from elimination. Yeah, wow, only a handful of you guys are safe. Wow. Anyways, we have a huge chunk of you guys up for elimination for this stage. And those albums are Quest for Fire, Dark Side of the Moon, The Record, Circles, Black Star, Listen, Songs in the Key of Life, Multiply, Chorus Gate, The Mollusk, Wasting Light, To Pimp a Butterfly, Selected Enemy Works Volume 2, B-Brew, and Flower Boy. Sorry to all of you, but you are all up for elimination. Meanwhile, these albums, these handful of albums, are actually safe from elimination, and those albums are Amber, Folklore, Lifeforms, De Todas Las Flores, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, Purple Rain, Hard Normal Daddy, Forever, Bloom, Discovery, Jelly Tones, and Meteora. Congratulations to all of you. You are all safe. And yeah, these guys are up for elimination, and so are these guys, and these guys. So viewers, voters, subscribers, and everyone else out there, vote for which albums should be saved from elimination by going to the Trouble link in the description and pinned comment. Voting will end next week on Tuesday, June 13th, 2023 at 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. The 5 albums with the least amount of votes will be eliminated from the competition, so start voting and stay tuned.